I'm getting a creativity vibe here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Creative. Ooh, felt it. So there are two words that changed my life. Anyone guess what they were? No, that's a good guess.
I do.
I do. No, it's not I do. Even though I just said that twice, that's the only time I've said it. Any other guesses?
Creativity.
Creativity totally changed my life, but here's the two words. Get ready for them. Yes and. Does anyone know where that comes from?
Yes, I think that's the way you can answer questions because a lot of people always give buts.
That's a good start at it. Yes and comes from improv and improv comedy. And a lot of Toastmasters, actually world championship Toastmasters, have encouraged people, go do improv. And actually, we got to do improv today. Some of us were handed a picture, and we had to improv. We had no idea who that person was. And we had to improv who it is. Table topic is improv. We are doing it every day. I don't know. I wasn't given my script for the day when I woke up. Were any of you given your script for the day? Here's how I knew. Hey, Mr. Smith, wait. Let me check my next line. No, that didn't happen today. We're all doing improv. So table topics, as I was talking to Jacqueline, I joined Toastmasters probably 15 years ago or so, and it lasted about 6 months. And the reason is I was scared in my seat, scared to get up. Table topics was really frightening. Now it's a joy. Now I still feel nervousness in my body, but I turn that nervousness into excitement. And I get excited. Before a contest for table topics, I was in the room kind of shadow boxing, getting ready to loosen them up, and something's getting your body loose. And the guy next to me is going, look, what is he doing? And I went out there in the contest, and there was 2 different groups, and they asked the same question they did in the morning group, and they're not supposed to do that. But I got, well, deja vu, and I just flowed into it, and it felt good, and I think it threw the other contestants off. And the guy that went behind me that's won some contests too, what did you say? I flowed. I went with it. Yes and. How did yes and change my life? I wanted to be the best speaker communicator I could be. Yes and gives you that freedom to add something positive. I was a no but type of guy. I got a better idea. Let's do this. I didn't realize how many minds I closed when I said no or but. And bringing in that to corporations, and that's one of the things I'm working on speaking for, is bringing it into corporations. Because imagine you are the boss, or you lead a department or team, and someone comes to you. They normally don't come to you. And they stand up and say, hey, I got this great idea I wanted to share. And you say, no, that's not even your job. Get back to your job. You got to finish that project. What if they walk away without sharing this idea? What is one idea potentially worth in this company? Millions. Maybe more even, right? One idea could be worth millions. So saying no or but or I have no time stops the flow. And I realize this in some people, it brings up the stress hormone called cortisol, the fight or flight reflex. And people don't want to go back and, let's say they come up with a second idea. Do you think they're going to go share that idea? No, but they stop the flow. And I stopped the flow so many times that I didn't realize it. Yes and is the main tenets of improvisational comedy. And why yes and? So let's say you tell me, give me a location.
Old Town.
Hotel.
Old Town.
Old Town.
Old Town. Oh, Old Town. So I said, isn't it great here to be in Old Town? That's saying yes to that. So I join you in what you give to me. I say yes to Old Town. And then I add something to it. And isn't it great to get a job working as a chef here? I'm excited to learn from you. So I'm adding to it. Now it's bringing it back. And that yes and can create a really big scene. Now, if you said Old Town, I said, no, we're not in Old Town. What happens? It just grinds to a halt. Yes and builds things. Now it's helped me in relationships too. She said, yeah, let's go out here. No, I got a better idea. Ooh, you've got a better idea than the one I just said, and you want to get close to me? Yes, and leads to connection. And I've done some parenting classes too, inspired by my daughter. I wanted to be a joyful parent, so I worked on joyful parenting. And relationships, they come down to connection. Are we connecting or are we not connecting? So, you want to do a little exercise with me to feel connection? Sure. Okay. Please stand up. Thank you. Now reach out your hand like you're shaking someone's hand. Thank you so much. And now sit down. What? What? You didn't sit down. What happened there? I think you did the hard part. You have gravity on your favor right now, and you're still not sitting. Please sit down. And that demonstration that came to me, I go, wow, what a way to demonstrate connection. Because when you were a little kid, I know I was a little kid, my dad said, don't do that. And my first thought after that was, oh, that's right, I shouldn't do that. I won't do that anymore. I think that was it. How can I do that when he doesn't see me and get away with it? He lost the connection if you would say, hey, son, you can get hurt with that, and I love you, and I don't want to ever see you hurt like that. So how can I help you? Connection there. I had a connection with you because you stood up and you reached your hand out to shake someone's hand. There was a connection there. And I totally lost the connection when I said sit down. I mean, it went away. You all stood up and said, I'm not sitting down. You can't tell me what to do. And really, I'm sharing this because this has made relationships better for me. If you tell people what to do with that kind of tone of voice, you're losing connection. When you have connection, people break through walls to get to help you achieve what you want to achieve. Now, let's bring some of this together and look at creativity. As kids, we are incredibly divergent thinkers. In kindergarten, they look at 84% or so of the kids, incredibly divergent. They come up with tons of ideas out of it. I can do it this way. We can do it this way. This is awesome. All these different ways you can do it. By the time they're second grade, it's way down. By the time we're 20 years old, only about 2% think divergently. Because why? When you take a test, is there only one right answer? And are we just whacked on the head over and over again? One right answer, one right answer. All this divergent thinking just, we lose it. You really haven't lost it. It's just been trained out of us because we are infinitely creative. So, what does this mean to your life? It's yes and that changed my life. It's also why I left Toastmasters, is this fear. And I'll bring a little bit of my fear speech in here too, and bring a lot of what you talked about, landing in the net. And getting up and celebrate. Yeah, I landed in the net. Toastmasters is a little bit like that, and you can make your club like a net that people get to swing on and land into. Because when I studied, I read this book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I go, ooh, I messed up big as a parent. And I cursed my daughter. Let's turn this into a wand. I cursed her. You know what the curse was? You're smart. You're intelligent. You're quick. You can do anything you put your mind to. Does anyone see how that's a curse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see it. Because what happens is, boom, the label goes there. I'm smart, I'm quick, I'm intelligent. Ooh, but what if I do something I don't know how to do? And I don't usually use the trapeze as an example. I use walking on a tightrope. Let's get back to the tightrope in a minute. But this label, you don't want to risk the label, so you don't do much that risks the label. You only do things you know you'll keep the label. Otherwise, ripping that label off hurts. And Carol Dweck talks about two mindsets: a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And in the fixed mindset, when you fail, you are the failure. And I had that as a kid, and I still have it to a degree today. And I realized I was giving that to my daughter. When you fail, you're the failure. So when you take a test in school, that test isn't just a test on paper, it's a test of who you are. I remember so scared to take tests. And I did really well, but every test, I was a little bit afraid taking that test. Now, on the other hand, this growth mindset, failure is just feedback on how to get better. Failure is just feedback. Whoa, I want this, give me this. Let me take that other one out and put this one in. Because this one hurts. This one, where when you fail, you are the failure. It hurts in every area of your life. It hurts in work, play, and relationships. Why? Because it's hard to get good at anything. Let's go back to the tightrope. If you fail, you're the failure. So the person with a fixed mindset goes, I don't even need to go out on that. I'm cool. I'm too cool for that tightrope thing. You mess with that tightrope. No, you got to go. I don't want to go. Okay, I'll go. I can do this. You know, falls in the net and that net hurts. I'm good. I'm done. That's it. That net hurts. The growth mindset steps out of the tightrope. Woo! Our hands in the net. This is awesome. Climbs up the roping, steps out, falls in. Woo! Let's do it again. Woo! Let's do it again. And they fall, 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 and they fall. And that can be a lot like table topics, because I've had some horrible table topics answers. One day you walk in the room and they're going across the tightrope. They go backwards and forward. And they look up and they go, oh my gosh, you're a natural. They didn't see all those falls. Toastmasters, to bring it into Toastmasters, and you guys have a club that is exciting, that creates that net for you to fall in, that it's safe to fall and fail. That's the way you get great. By being willing to fail. You know, one of my heroes growing up was Michael Jordan. The reason I succeed is I failed over and over again. 26 times they trusted me with a game-winning shot, and I missed. Now, I made a lot of game-winning shots. But I play basketball with a bunch of guys that run corporations and do other things. And the clock's ticking down. 10, 9, 8. Pass them the ball. They don't want to have that ball near the end of the game. Now you take on, because why? Because if you fail, you're the failure. But what if you have the mindset, hey, it's just feedback. If you pass me the ball, I'm going, yeah. And I've missed a bunch. I missed and I made some. And it's amazing how they remember your makes more than your misses. Failure is just feedback on how to get better. How can you do it? And this is just an atmosphere where you get to fail over and over again, and then you get so much better. I've improved so much because of Toastmasters. You know, I study high performance as well. And I remember going to a Toastmaster function, and met this guy who'd been in Toastmasters forever. And I said, how long have you been in? And he said, 35 years. And I said, wow. And he said, I'm a Toastmaster for life. That went in my head. Maybe me too. I'm a Toastmaster for life. And one of the reasons was selfish reasons. I wanted to be one of the best communicators I could be. And when in this study on high performance, if you commit to something lifelong, when you practice, it goes in deeper. So, I'm a Toastmaster for life. I would encourage that in you if you want to take that on. We had 15 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yes, I'm sorry, I got so enthralled.
Well, I apologize too. Do you want me to wrap up quickly, or do you give me 2 minutes to wrap up?
You can get
2 minutes, okay, cool. Wow, that was quick yellow. So what I'd say is this, is how to be creative, is say yes and. Bring the divergent thinking back. Don't stop the flow of things. What a creative table topics today. Wow. You had actually 3 table topics in one, basically. You could, and don't be afraid when you stand, or be afraid, well, I was afraid, be afraid and stand up anyway, and just be blah, blah, blah. Because one of the things I talk about on fear and the growth mindset is this. Babe Ruth, does everyone know who Babe Ruth is? Famous baseball player. He looked out at the fence and he predicted his home run. He said, Zach Cocky, crack out of the park. 714 home runs. Does anyone know how many strikeouts he had?
Oh my God. Way more.
Way more. Almost double. 1,330.
Yes.
Wow.
And at the time, striking out, when you struck out back then, baseball writers said that's a shameful act. You should walk with your head down when you go back to the dugout. You failed everyone and you should be ashamed of yourself. That wasn't Babe Ruth, and that's not how you did great. Babe Ruth striking out, hey, that's just one strikeout closer to another home run. So I looked at that through, and what a gift for me. This story isn't to tell it over and over again, because I look, what am I willing to fail at 1,330 times to be great in, to reach the top of my game in it? And what are you willing to fail at 1,330 times to be at the top of your game? This, when we speak, we were here together, you stood up and you didn't sit down. Connection. When you connect with people, when you say yes to people, when you say yes to yourself, this connection creates this flow of energy. And I've reached a space, there's a space where you can touch into infinite creativity too. But you've given me the gift of your space. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate this energy. I feel this wonderful energy in the room. Thank you for it. If you want to know more about that, you can talk to me. I love talking about improv. Improv's changed my life. And I encourage it for you all. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
What a fantastic speech. And to add to that, you know,